Okay, good afternoon, Minds owners. It's Gary Boyce here, and I'm delighted to welcome along Mark Sapsford, who is future captain, and he would correct me if I'm not quite right there, future captain at Woolston Manor Golf Club. I've played golf with Mark on occasion, and I know he's very active over at Woolston Manor. So I thought it'd be an ideal opportunity to have a chat with him today to see how he's been coping with lockdown, the pandemic, and of course now the golf clubs are open. Hopefully he's been able to get out on the course and play a bit. So first of all, welcome Mark. Thank you for joining me.
Hi Gary, thanks for inviting me. It'd be good to get out there and we're getting out there and playing golf.
We are just about, aren't we, at the moment with our restrictions, which I want to talk to you about. How's this pandemic? I mean, we are now, I'll put the date on here. It's about the 3rd, I think I lose track, 3rd of June today, 3rd of June 2020. Yes. We've officially been in lockdown since the 23rd of March. It's been eased. We are now back golfing. But how has this pandemic affected you personally, Mark, since mid-March?
Well, I was actually taken ill at the beginning of March.
Okay.
Wasn't sure if it was COVID. It probably was. My doctor says it probably was. But since then, we noticed an immediate change in our business side of things. We run a business which involved traveling overseas, and I was basically traveling to South Africa every month, teaching and training people how to trade the financial markets. But obviously now with flights being cancelled and locked down, that was something we had to adapt to and look at doing at home. And that's actually been a positive, if I'm honest. We've actually realized that we can run this business from home. So we closed our office in South Africa. That's been closed. So we're now running this business from home. We're doing training. I'm doing webinars from home, and it's really worked out quite well. On a plus side, a lot of businesses I know are struggling, but we're actually gone the other way, which is a real good thing. So yeah, but it's been tough. I mean, it's been tough to wanting to get out there and meet people, see people. I've seen my father. I haven't seen my mother for a few weeks now, but I've seen my father, for my family. So yeah, we're starting to get back to that sort of normality, but it has been tough. I know. Yeah.
I think what you've said there, Mark, sums up a lot of people at the moment, that we are in changing times without doubt, and you do have to adapt. And I think going back to saying, let's wait for the normal to come back, I don't think the normal that we knew, that we knew, or that we now are going to know it as, is ever going to happen. We're going to have to evolve much the same as we have done the 60s into the 70s, 70s into the 80s. And when you look back, you think, yeah, that was a significant change when this happened. I mean, look at technology. We're now appearing on Zoom. If this happened 20 years ago, then what do? We make phone calls. There was no online video conferencing back then. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We do have to change.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with technology has evolved, as you say, and in our business, I wouldn't have been able to do a webinar many years ago. I would have had to been face-to-face coaching and training, and now with the webinars we can talk to anybody. I'm talking to you. You only live a little bit up the road from me, but I'm talking to guys in South Africa.
Yeah,
just the same signal, same quality of signal, and all over the world we're getting the same signal. So yeah, I agree. It's a new. I think it's a new normal now. It's the new normal.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Absolutely. So we're now back playing. I think we've been back. It's Wednesday today. Is it 2 or I think it's only 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 weeks we've been back playing. Have you been able to get out, and have you made up for some lost time?
Well, I didn't play the opening day because I was running a webinar and I didn't know it was going to be a Wednesday. Otherwise, I'd have cancelled or rearranged the time. So I played on the Thursday, and I've probably played, I would say, about half a dozen or so times since. Try and play 2 or 3 times a week. And yeah, I mean, I've been out. I tend to play better when I've had a break. So it's actually helped my game a little bit. Although yesterday I played and it was a little bit all over the place, but one of those things, and that's the game. But yeah, I have been out, yeah.
Good. And how do you feel now with the current measures that we've got in place? No rakes in the bunker, social distancing, of course. I know at my club, we've just only this week gone to 3 balls. I know some clubs are doing 3 and 4 balls. But how do you think that's all working?
Personally, I thought I would struggle with just 2 balls, but then I got used to playing in a 2 ball. And now we've gone to 3 and 4 balls. We've gone to 4 balls now at Woolston Manor.
Yeah.
We played a 3 ball yesterday, and it's then adapting to the new, like waiting for other players to play their shots, etc. The social distancing side of things, again, I've adapted to quite well. Some people have found it difficult, I think. You know, not being able to socialize after golf, not being able to mix with their friends and mates after golf, and having to leave and go straight home. But one of the things that I think has been difficult, and I know this changed a little bit before the lockdown, was the new rules with regards to flags. Because obviously flags, you can now putt with a flag in place.
Yeah.
And now you have to keep the flag in place. You don't get an option. And you know the adaptations that clubs are putting in to stop the ball from going down too far, that can cause a little bit of confusion with people, can cause a little bit of controversy. Is it the appropriate thing to use, etc. So yeah, I mean it's a new normal. I've adapted. I mean I take the philosophy to that. And at the club, generally speaking, over the last few weeks, it's been adhered to really, really well. And we're proud that, you know, our club, like probably your club as well, Gary, is that we've listened to the rules, we've read the rules, and we've stuck to it. And we're very, you know, very hot on that.
Good. I think people have got to be sensible. Golf is included. And yeah, the temptation is to go into 3 and 4 balls. Social distancing is bizarre.
Yeah.
And I know we've had it for 3 months, but it is bizarre because certainly after a round of golf or even before you start, it's tradition, isn't it? You shake your hand. Even if you go and meet your mates down the pub or whatever, when we used to drink in pubs, it was a natural thing. You didn't even think about it. Subconscious.
Yes.
Go and shake their hand. And it is a little bit strange now that maybe that won't actually catch on again.
Yeah.
Maybe we just get used to not shaking hands or whatever. But I think part of the reason that many of us play golf is the social aspect, being with your mates, etc. Yeah. And in that respect, I think that's the hardest thing to get used to. You come off the 18th and you put your clubs in the car and you go home.
Yeah.
And we've had some beautiful weather recently, and you look at the patios, and I know the patio at Woolston, it's glorious. Sit out there just by the 18th, have a pint or an orange juice or whatever. Yeah. And that's all part of the game to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And it is frustrating when you can't actually do that. And the only drink you can have or beer you can have is when you come back home again.
Yes.
It has a knock-on effect on the revenue for the club as well. You know, and I know the owners quite well, and they've you know, you can see that when you've got a bar there and you've got we've got 2 areas for members. We've got them at the 19th Spike Bar, and we've got the 2 venues upstairs. And when you see those bars being just completely empty and no one can spend any money in them, it is frustrating for us. It's also clearly frustrating for the owners at the club as well. But, you know, we've more than compensated that with the changes we've made to the course and the improvements we've made that have been made to the course, which has really attracted new members. So whereas the focus before was on events and, you know, food and beverage, the focus now is on the golf course. And the golf course, I've spoken to members that have been there since the beginning, and they've said it's the best they've seen it. Many members have said this is the best since I've joined 8-10 years ago, and we're actually getting members coming back now. So the Woolston Manor, you know, is now revitalized as a club. Still work to go, still work in progress, but yeah, it's frustrating that you can't actually have a beer afterwards. Yeah, I agree.
It certainly is. And when we look at clubs up and down the country, and of course worldwide, this is going to have a major effect on their finances in terms of lost revenue in the clubhouses, food, weddings, wakes, parties, this and that. It's a colossal amount, which in the past we've possibly taken for granted as part of the running costs and running income.
Yes.
And a lot of these clubs have now got to start to put plans in for when we do open, which we will, of course. How do you think golf clubs generally are going to start to increase their turnover once we're up and running?
I've been saying this for years, that golf clubs in today's society is a very tough business, purely and simply because the golf memberships are coming down in price. There's no debentures that are paid unless it's a very exclusive club. Joining fees are often waived, so the actual money that's coming into the club is on a lower scale. And obviously, if you're relying on events and you can't run events, then you have to look at golf being the main revenue and the only revenue. And it is. I mean, you see golf clubs up for sale. I've seen. I mean, we've both myself and my family, we've looked at golf clubs over the last few years as a potential side business. And, you know, we've looked at several, and, you know, the amount of golf clubs that have been actually sold over the last few years and do come up for sale.
Yes.
Stableford Abbots, we know, was sold recently. And, you know, it's, you have to then look at the quality of the course to attract new members. You have to look at the quality of the course to attract green fee paying guests as well. Because again, you know, people don't want to join a club. They like to have that freedom of moving around. So having a quality product that can give them a really nice game of golf and a proper green fee rate that makes money for the club, but is competitive, is a right fine balance. And I don't like saying this, but I expect there will be some golf club casualties coming up over the coming months. Thankfully, and I hand on my heart, you know, I don't believe Woolston's going to be that one of those, because of where we have taken the course, and the course is better. The greens are being worked on. So what they're doing at the club is spending money and time and getting that, the only business tool we have, which is the course, getting it refreshed and getting it working. So Gary, to answer your question in a nutshell, yeah, I think there's going to be some tough times for many courses out there.
I think you're absolutely right, Mark. It's sad that some of these businesses have been going for many, many years.
Yeah.
And you're right in terms of the product. The product's got to be right. So the course, people have got to want to play the course.
Yeah.
Something you mentioned, and I'm just going to throw this one in there, because I'd like your opinion. You said about joining fees being waived.
Yes.
Now, if I go back 20, 30 years when you joined a golf club, you would always pay, even if it was a few £100 or half a year's membership, a joining fee. Now, clubs started to waive that because obviously they're in the market. Someone did tell me, certainly down in Essex, about 25, maybe 30 years ago, in a 10-year period, was something like 30 new courses.
Yes.
So clearly, there's so many golfers to go around. What's your personal opinion on a joining fee? Should we charge it or not?
I think golf clubs have no choice but to waive it right now to stay competitive. It's like, I mean, years ago, I used to be in the driver training industry, and it was like, if one driving school lowered their prices, everybody goes to them, and then everybody's got to lower their prices accordingly. And we created it was like a conglomerate, an association of driving instructors, where we all agreed we'd lift our prices. So the price became the same. So if all clubs had a joining fee, stay the same, or we all go different. And that's really where my view is. Everybody should be the same. It should be a joining fee across the board, or no joining fee.
Yeah, I'm certainly with you on that. It also gets commitment from members.
Yes.
Because so many, and I know so many clubs that you will have 20 or 30 guys or girls or juniors join a club, stay for a year, maybe 2 years, and then clear off. And that's a big financial burden for the club in terms of future planning. So yeah, I'm in favour, but I also understand economically and marketing wise, if everyone else is putting their prices down and waiving it, then you've potentially got to do the same.
I mean, we've got another business in the family that the price is a restaurant, funny enough, and the prices have just gone up. Purely and simply, not to get back any lost revenue, but to make it a niche product. And I think you're going to see that instead of it all being done on price moving forward, there's going to be lots of people making their decisions on quality and value. And I think that's a big thing that businesses across the board, not just golf clubs, but golf clubs specifically, have to offer value. You know, and it's going to be a value-driven product as opposed to maybe a cost-driven product, because there's a big difference between cost or price and value. You know, you can have something that's high cost, but then really good value.
Absolutely, and it's a perceived value in often for many cases, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And it's, I think, maybe if the last 3 months of this pandemic lockdown have taught us anything, it is a lot of people are shopping local because they have no choice. But a lot of these people are thinking, do you know what, the service from my local shop or my local supermarket or whatever,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
And I do hope from a business point of view that once we are up and running, that people do honour that and still go back. I feel they won't, because we've got short memories, and so will offer a very, very lucrative deal on bread and milk, etc., and without naming names, and then all clear back to their sort of huge supermarket or huge
Yes.
retail store. And
Yeah.
I do understand price is important. I totally get that. But more and more it's value, and certainly what I'd call perceived value.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've never spent so much money in my local grocery store. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got a grocery store just up the road from us, and you know, I looked at my bank statement, and I think we spent about £300-400 in there in the last few weeks, where we wouldn't even spend that in a year. Just pick up a couple of Snickers bars for gold for a bottle of water stuff.
And
You know,
you probably even know their name as well.
well, he knows mine, funnily enough. Where he's heard that from, I don't know. But he actually, hello, Mark, how are you? And I'm thinking, my God, how does he know my name? So something's happened there, clearly.
Customer service.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent. One other thing I'm going to pick your brains on, and I know you mentioned it when we talked about the new guidelines, two balls on golf clubs. Now, for the last couple of weeks, that's all we've been playing, two balls. We've now gone to 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Would you like to see more two balls out there?
Two balls is a very so two balls, as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to see more two balls, but the problem it's been given our pro at the golf club, Tony, he's getting people out on the course. So when you're restricted just to two balls, 3 and 4 balls are here, it's really opened up. So it's helped. So yeah, I'd like to see more two balls, but thinking it from the golf club point of view, 4 balls much more effective numbers wise. Yeah.
I think economically it's got to be 3 and 4 balls.
Yeah.
Personally, the last couple of weeks playing in 2 balls, it's been fantastic. I'm doing 18 holes in sort of just over 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's been lovely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there you go. There you go. Mark, I'm going to sort of start to wrap this up.
Okay.
What I'll say here is, has the lockdown in the UK and of course the rest of the world, and I know we have sort of touched on this, do you think it's created a new normal, or do you think we'll ever get back to hustling, bustling clubhouses that we had in the past?
I think it will get back to, as far as golf is concerned, I think, talking about my friends and the members at Woolston specifically, they're gagging to get back and really actually champing at the bit to get back into the clubhouse and spend time in there. And I think the day we actually open that for the first time, that's going to be really nice day, a nice occasion. But I think generally around the world, I think there's a new normal, but some people have not even accepted that there is a change. So I think generally speaking, this is going to be a new normal, with people being more respective of people's distance. But again, things like tube trains and aeroplanes. I do a lot of flying, and you can't keep social distancing on planes unless you block a middle seat off, or if you're in club, or if you're in first class, they keep a space spare. But it's going to be, golf clubs are going to be the one, I think, that's going to first of all be the big party time, and then perhaps the new normal will be a little bit more space, respect for people's boundaries and stuff like that. And because at the end of the day, the government keep putting this threat in that there could be a second wave. I think that's going to be at the back of people's minds as well. So
now here's a question: is it the government putting that out there, or is it the media? And is it hearsay?
Well, you think it's the media. My wife, when she hears these guys talking about coronavirus on TV, you hear in the background going, liars. So
who knows?
Who knows? When the government, at the end of the day, if the government aren't the experts in the field, it's the scientists. So the government can only deliver what the scientists are telling them, and then the media can only deliver what the government's perceived to be saying, and then other media spinning it. So it's one of those
Yeah.
Fake news type things that our friend out in America sometimes comes up with. But
That's right. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me
Likewise,
today.
likewise,
Um,
Gary.
and I do look forward to coming over. When does your captaincy officially start?
Funnily enough, I was talking to Mark yesterday. We're looking to do a drive-in. Probably it's going to be July, August now. It was supposed to be actually this Saturday. It's supposed to be June the 6th, but we're going to go through till 2022 anyway. So whatever happens, we've got a good committee. We've got a great committee, driven committee. We've got great owners, management there. So they're all behind it. We're all behind them. We've got a great membership now. So we're going to look at doing something in July and August. We might combine the captain's drive-in and the captain's charity day all in one, possibly. But I'll talk to Tony and see what we can come up with, and Mark and the other guys. And you are more than welcome to invite you. You will be invited. You're at the top of my list, my friend, and
Excellent.
be good to have a game of golf with you very soon.
Yeah, I look forward to it very much, and I wish you all the best in your year or couple of years of captaincy. So I'm going to stop the recording in just one moment, Mark. So again, thanks for joining me, and stay on the line. We'll have a quick chat afterwards.
Okay, mate.
Thanks so much. Mark
Thanks.
Sapsford, future captain of Woolston Manor Golf Club.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark.